sit in your room playing guitar. You don't have to worry about being successful. It's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. Alone in a corridor, waiting locked out. He got up out of there and for hundreds of miles.
It's kind of an unlikely group of people to be playing together.
We made it to the ocean, had a smoke in a tree. The wind rose up, set him down on his knee.
We wanted to be more like Zeppelin. We didn't want to be locked into like a real specific style.
The difference between this and I think everything they've released before is this is an actual 20-year career retrospective that covers from previous to Pearl Jam till now. I think for fans it's going to be an amazing movie to see. I think for music fans, just like all of Cameron's movies, it's going to be a great movie. I think it's a standalone movie as opposed to a just pure rock documentary. Audience is taken to all kinds of great places in this movie, starting out with the early formative days of Mother Love Bone, Andy Wood's passing, Ed's involvement in the band initially, and their fledgling rehearsals through the traumas of the Roskilde Festival, through their kind of self-sufficient career in the 2000s. You know, I think they went from what a lot of bands went from, being a major label act to being kind of a self-sufficient band in the latter half of that 20 years.
Dear Dad, oh, can you see me now?
The length of this project and how long a lot of movies take. This one took about, I think it's a little over 2.5 years to now, which is August 2011. The first 2 years were spent culling through the band's archives and finding an arc for the movie and getting that in line. And then as they finished locking 20-minute reels to picture and everybody was happy with it, I jumped in January and started mixing. I think that the collaboration between the band and Cameron on this movie and really specifically between Cameron and the editors, Chris and Kevin, was one of finding the best performances that represented certain eras of the band, but more importantly, finding an arc and a storyline to it. I think it was really a matter of finding something that was truthful about the past 20 years of the band and wasn't just a series of music videos, you know? And I think once they found that rhythm in the last year of work, the whole thing really came together. And I think the band was, my understanding was, with the band saw a very close to finished edit, they were kind of surprised in a lot of ways. Well, the difference between mixing this and mixing an album is pretty profound, but it straddled a lot of that, which was really fun for me, having started in records in the 90s out here, and being a big fan of a real niche market, which is surround music. So this was an incredible combination of the two. I did 16 5.1 mixes from scratch of live stuff that no one's ever seen before. Did a surround mix of Jeremy off the first record for a quick segment of the movie, and a couple other tunes that got used as kind of bed tracks for the movie got mixed in surround, so that was fun. But I mean, past that, musically mixing a movie is a completely different beast. The approach was basically to start with the surround mixes and get those done separately in Pro Tools, then get into mixing the reels, which is the movie cut up into 20-minute chunks so that it's easier for everybody to work on. Once I had the reels kind of up and running, I would slot in the 5.1 stuff and see how it sounded. But I think the main difference musically for this movie was the amount of editing involved in the songs. Because I had to take my mixes and apply them to picture that had been edited by the editors. So that complicated it even further.
What the fuck is this world? Run into you didn't leave a message, at least I could learn your voice one last time. Daily mind feel this good. Be my time by your word you hit me. Word you hit me.
The great use of surrounds in this movie for me, or the fun opportunity to use surrounds in this movie, was for the audience tracks. And Cameron's edict from the beginning of the movie was less a fan piece and more a piece about what a great band they were. So a lot of the ways the live mixes were slanted was a little bit more towards what was going on stage and less about the crowd. So it was a little bit of a challenge in that I had to find reverbs that I thought matched what the hall sounded like, bring the audience back a little bit to kind of fill that in, and still make it feel like a live thing. As far as the quality of the audio sources that we had, there are two different aspects to that. One is the multi-tracks of the music, which the band has a lot of control over and a huge archive up in Seattle. So they've been recording concerts and tours for years and years and years, and the people that have been working on them, Brett Eliason, John Burton, do an amazing job and have been doing an amazing job. There's a track called Blood, that's a 90s performance that was so simple to mix. Not simple, but came together really well. And it was just an ADAT recording of the live performance, from New Zealand, and it sounds fantastic. So their guys are as good as it gets, and it makes everybody's job so much easier. But the other aspect, of course, was the dialogue. And there's kind of two sets of dialogue in the movie. There's current interviews with everybody in the band, which sound great. That was all done late, recently and professionally. And then there's just tons and tons of scrapbook and archival interviews and MTV footage and the like that I'd used Isotope RX, which is super easy and super powerful and got great results. But I kind of tempered it because, Cameron's credo for the movie was more raw and less like polished and perfect. We could have obviously gone muy further in cleanup, but didn't. And I think everybody's very happy with the way it kind of works as far as it helps with the journey, too. The main idea behind the mixes and the approach we took was that I would get the film about 90% of the way there, and then we would take it to Fox, put it up with Ron Bartlett and Doug Hemphill, and get it fleshed out a little better for national theatrical release. So that was a great learning experience for me. Having worked here at my place a lot, you get insular. I was both parts thrilled with how well what we did translated to the stage, and just blown away by their skills and what they brought to it and what they did. The things I like best about engineering, I think probably the same things that a lot of engineers like. To be able to deal with audio every day and music and technology is just wonderful. It's great.